Jonathan and Amy, I live in the Beltway. I guess a swamp creature, and I had heard a lot of rumors for a long time about President Biden, which I'm sure you guys did as well. And there was a certain point where I remember talking to a reporter who's a friend of mine and saying, like, is anybody ever going to actually report on this? Because, like, again, if I'm hearing rumors, I'm like 9 degrees of separation. Why do you think it was so hard for so many people in the press to report on? Is it just because it's like sort of untoward to discuss health? Like, I feel like it was like the secret everyone was talking about but wasn't saying.
I think the big problem is we're not doctors.
Okay,
So when you
fair.
talk about health, it's very difficult, particularly even if we were doctors, we're not diagnosing the patient. There was such limited contact between Biden and the press intentionally on the part of the White House that really the reporting that that the press was able to do at the time was based on what the people close to him said. And what the people close to him said was he's just fine. And it did not comport with the reality that Americans saw. And I think that that was part of the reason Biden was being rejected. It's part of the reason he was unpopular. Even before the debate, he was losing to Donald Trump, and after the debate, obviously his numbers slid. So um, that's not to give I don't think the press covered itself in glory, but also it is very difficult to get access to the president of the United States, and there's people around him who are trying to protect him.
I also think
Sorry,
that's
go
been a
ahead.
bad rap. I mean, John and I both covered this administration. I have done a number of stories about his age. I remember doing a story about his
This isn't necessarily directed at you two because
yeah,
I
yeah.
know your
No,
work.
but it's
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 yeah.
become a thing right now to just blame the press and act like we were asleep at the switch, but we were all kind of, aware and asking questions and getting a lot of blowback from the White House, by the way.